Our youthful pride has grown into a lifelong fraternity based on no greater love. Thank you, Lord. This is for my fellow veterans of Mogadishu, class of 1993. The University of War. There is but one institution throughout the history of mankind, a singleton, capable of offering a tangibly supernatural experience and education through every excruciatingly purposeful yet attentive moment of study. Attending this prestigious institution requires a depth and breadth of commitment that only 1% of our nation will ever become. Many will try, yet not all are even eligible. Character and integrity are the unspoken standard. All will give some, and some will give all. Not all will be called to greatness. However, each one has freely pledged their very lives to one another. Lessons learned are both practical and life-saving. They culminate from nearly 2.5 centuries of history, an intense study and scrutiny of and by generation upon generation of patriots and statesmen, each fervently unapologetic and devout in their faith to God unto their last breath. Lead professors are learned in their fields and subject matter experts in their skill and craft, all of which are prerequisite for completion. Even with the doctrinal knowledge and real-world experience they possess, and even help to create in some cases, they do not have the final say over whether or not you make the cut. Our Creator alone holds the answer, in alignment with His plan and in accordance with His divine will. Deep down in the heart of the student, he knows this ultimately to be true. There, the pupil readies the body, mind, and heart through the virtual gauntlet of fire, impurities dissipating through each encounter, each evolution, each engagement, each extreme, often within milliseconds of each other, and a lifetime betwixt the two. Irony fills the mind as the learned mold each new progeny through immediate, firm, and humbling correction, creating perspective and expertise unlike anywhere else in the world. The disciple of these arts lets go of all things meaningless or inconsequential. Apprenticeship requires self-sacrifice and a desire to become a better version of oneself with each passing moment. Your final examination will not be revealed indoors on a piece of paper, but in a strange classroom with unparalleled scrutiny and the unyielding elements of nature that not only change the direction of momentum, but can swallow entire cities and break at will even the strongest of men. Engagement after engagement, and the will of man changes the landscape of a nation. And when the dust settles and that familiar silhouette walks out of the blurred horizon, struggling to take the form in the unrelenting fog of war, there comes a still voice. This voice will come to serve as a beacon of hope and the sound of redemption. It is your countryman, your brother. An unspeakable joy pours over your heart like a deluge, and suddenly you realize that your life is still somehow intact. Breathe. When you come home, and the years pass by, God willing, it will become unmistakably clear to you the true magnitude of your blessings. All you have to do is open your eyes, look around, and you will know. This path requires complete submission to one all-knowing and omnipotent teacher above all others, while knowing all the while that His grace is sufficient, regardless of any burden to be endured, injustices to suffer, or full measure given. Years after the final shot is fired, and you unlace your boots and take off your uniform for the last time one morning, God willing, years between these moments, you'll be drinking coffee and watching the sunrise, and you will not wonder whether or not your life made a difference. And after what seems a lifetime of study and a nearly spiritual devotion to the craft, at the setting of my last sun, I long to hear those holy and eternal words from my Lord, "Well done, my good and faithful one."